The tanks will be standing on blue, and then all the DPS will be on green side. It's to bait a heroic mechanic, but we might as well get used to it and used to the range that you need to run to line of sight the echoing shriek or whatever her fear.
I watched some videos, but I haven't done the raid on normal or heroic yet.
Okay, yeah. So I'll give a quick rundown. The range will want to be 12 yards behind the melee because she will turn to a random DPS and do a swipe. The melee can dodge it much easier, and it's only a 12-yard range. So if the range DPS stands far enough back, you are able to dodge it. You don't want to stand too far back, though, because when she casts Echoing Shriek, you need to line of sight behind a pillar from the boss. So if you're standing all the way back, you're not going to be able to do that. So yeah, just a good loose stack, 15 yards back, right around the green arrow, probably. She her phase one is just kind of a tank and spank, and then she turns around to do that. Her phase two, she will, I think, at 100 energy or something, go into a blood rage, become immune, and she will stealth around the arena, kind of around the pillars. And she'll cast 2 or 3 echoing shrieks during this phase, so you still need to be able to line of sight, but she will shoot out discs as she goes damage immune. And so you need to dodge the discs because as those hit, you'll be hit with pools of blood. But you also need to dodge her because if you get within 12 yards of her while she's stealthing around, you'll be instantly one hit. And then also in phase one, I believe healers and range DPS get targeted with something above your head that you just need to bring to the edge of the room. And just always make sure that you're dumping half the circle in a wall or in other circle drops. Don't be dropping a full radius of circle because it will. On normal, it doesn't matter as much. In heroic, it will fill up. And yeah, should be pretty easy. There'll be some trash here that we do first before gargoyles and whatnot. Yeah, make sure at this point the cauldron's still up so that people have taken a second one to sit in your bag. We want to see that cauldron go away, otherwise we wasted charges. And then I guess now at this point, non-alchemists can take a second swig. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. So I took a second. The cauldron's still existing and everybody's gotten one. If you're not an alchemist, you can go up to 2 hours by taking 2 flasks.
All right, let's pull this guy and then stand back at the entrance. These gargoyles come to life after some RP.
Welcome! I have so been looking forward to your arrival. Let's see, who have we here? Our wayward prince, of course. The deposed accuser, ever so earnest.
Every soul can be redeemed,
And our
if it
beauteous
desires
formal
to.
general, along with a contingent of mortal rabble eager to meet their end. We tire of your preening to Nathrius. Come and face us! I seem to recall a similar bluster from you not so long ago, Renethal. And we both know how that ended. It seems you failed to learn your lesson. Perhaps I was too lenient. I am, after all, known for my compassionate nature.
None was spared.
Let us begin your atonement with a suitable challenge, shall we?
Okay, boss on here. So again, range DPS, run through to the green triangle pasture.
When do we pop hero on this fight?
Right away. We'll do it once everyone gets to the green triangle. And I'll just call it as I see everyone there. Everyone run through. I guess pop heroism. Yeah, so someone didn't move out with that debuff. So we will be flipping to the other side. And not at a pillar yet, far wall, there we go. Blind sight, behind a pillar. She's at 89, so we're about to go into the phase 2. Alright, break line of sight here. I couldn't make it, so I just ran away from the pillar, and it's only partially messed up. Alright, so we'll be flipping where we want the green circle. And again, if you're within 12 yards, that red circle, you'll be one hit. So don't do that. Do your best to dodge the white circles, but do not get hit with the red circle. Line of sight. Line of sight again. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. One more line of sight. All right, we're gonna move her pretty far back to this corner. So range DPS are gonna be standing over here where this jumping death knight is. You guys are gonna be standing behind the corner, and when we move, all right, line of sight. Line of sight. Alright, just gonna go invincible in the middle again. Just pop personals when you have to run through a lot of red. We still need a line of sight 2 to 3 times. Then continue dodging. Okay, line of sight. Line of sight. Killer.
Nathria has retreated to his sanctum. There is a passage beyond the kennels that leads down into the castle's underpinnings. From there, we can reach the anima stores and stem the flow into the maw.
If we are to have any chance against Nathria, we must deprive him of his most prized possessions. I know the path we must take to reach them.
Alright, we're gonna go down the hall. But we're gonna summon him here first.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here? Okay, then we're going down the Huntsman Hall. We're gonna go to Lady, Huntsman, Hungering, and then Lady first.
I would take the cloak just because it's versatility. I have a 200, so if anybody needs eye level more, you know.
All yours, I guess.
Oh yeah, you can roll it, Vima, if you need the 30 and 29 eye level.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a bunch of eye levels, take it, something.
Perfect. Does anyone else want to roll against that 16 for the eye level?
Oh, that's why you're waving at me, Casser.
Hmm?
You waved at me because I was headed out to summon you.
You saw that? Oh yeah, I'm a ninja.
Snuck by.
All right. So remember, look out for the red bombs on the ground on these guys, and we'll do our best to tank the small dudes for all you AoE people. All right, whoever's doing this AoE, these are yellow mobs. Okay, yeah, probably. I think I have one that blows up too. Yeah. All right, just nice.
Sick.
Face me, coward.
Okay, so for this next boss coming up, after we clear this room trash, it'll be the huntsman and then his 3 dogs. They will start out stacked together. Range, you'll want to be kind of loosely stacked. I'll put some markers down actually here.
Margot, to me!
Okay, so ranged, actually let me put it back a little bit. You guys are going to stand on blue for phase 1. And then melee, you guys are going to stand just kind of between, and you don't all have to stack immediately. What will happen is the dog will give someone a big AoE circle. It needs to be soaked by probably most of you. Have a couple sit out every time, but there's not too many ranged DPS this go. And then Sham and Sewell, I think you can ice block it, but we don't need to worry about that in normal. Just practice letting people stack on you. And so phase 1, you'll want to be loosely spread though, and Melee will have you on the other side and kind of loosely spread around because throughout the entire fight, he's going to shoot his crossbow in like 15-degree arc, and it's just going to be unavoidable damage. So, and that'll be targeted at someone random, so you don't want it to hit everyone in the raid at once. And then there's a tank swap mechanic round 1, but then round 2, I'll be tanking Huntsman in phase 2 and 3 on the blue square. Miss Death will be running out. It'll be Barghast will be the second dog to come out. His 2 important abilities are going to be Soul Rip or Soul Leech or something. It's a healer.
Soul Rip, yeah.
Soul Rip, it's a healer ability. They just keep Miss Death topped off, and then it spawns out a soul, and healers, you need to heal the soul up to 100 before it gets to Huntsman. It gives Huntsman like 100% damage buff.
Right, so I'll call out when Soul Rip is going to happen and for healers to top me off, because if I'm at full health, then the soul that appears is going to be need less healing, so it makes it easier.
And then it also casts Shade of Barghast, which in normal it only casts 1. And it will need to be crowd controlled with a polymorph. Easily caster. So Sewell, since you've done it before, I'm going to have you do the polymorphing. Sham, I'm going to have you on backup, so if anyone multi-dots out to the shade, you'll be backup. And then Shang, if I'm just really need a super backup, then you'll be hibernating it like we were the first time we killed it. But yeah, so no multi-dots on that. The shade will gain a stacking debuff that I'll be watching, and then I will grip the shade into the group, and there should be a stun rotation. Wrath or Dayman starting off with a Hand of Justice, so it gets the full 6 seconds is always good. Don't both press it, but you probably could, and it would be up by the time the next shade comes out. And then, so I'll grip that in. It'll be cleaved in melee, but it needs to be focused. And then Miss Shadow will be bringing in Barghast when she can and running it out when we need to do the distancing mechanics. And then we'll get that one down. With the third one, Hecutus will come out. He has a lot of raid damage. We will pop Heroism right when phase 3 starts, and Hecutus comes within melee cleave range of Huntsman, and I'll call that. Miss Death will again be tanking him. She'll be moving him as she needs to. If he gets above like 6 or 7 stacks, healers, if you notice, just be prepared that she's probably about to move him a lot. He gains a stacking. His melee hit does stacking damage as he gains stacks and he gets larger, so you just need to move him and do raid damage. And we pop Heroism for it. DPS, you guys get targeted, and healers, you guys get targeted with some sort of circle. It slows you though, so it's important to get out near the edge of the arena early, because if you are going to move late with a non-blink effect, you're going to be slowed and you're not going to get as far. Yep, yeah, that's the one. And then it'll leave a little circle on the ground. It shouldn't be a problem since we're using Heroism that these should not fill up. But again, the same premise of you want to put half the circle in a wall or in existing circles that are on the ground. And yeah, we'll be again tanking the boss, and I'll be tanking him in the middle of the arena. So I have a very easy job. And
yeah, so in general, cleave off of the bear dog, the current pet that he has summoned, because once we kill all 3 of those, the boss will take more damage. When the Barghast pet, the second one, is casting Shade of Barghast, void cleaving off of him, because he'll be right next to the shade that has spawned, and so you might accidentally throw a dot onto the shade.
Yeah, so if Miss Death's running Barghast out, do not chase him. Just sit on the boss with me. But when she does bring him back in, that's always a good time. And there'll be, 10 or 15 seconds that he's sitting there at various points.
So we keep dots up on the pets, but not the shade, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay.
And then the shade that's gripped in might not be worth dotting depending on what your dot is, just because it will die pretty quick.
battle! The hunt begins! Margot, make them bleed.
Okay, and that was the stacking. So yeah, these stand still if you have the red circle, or if you have the red line, stand still. This will be all phases, and everyone else move around. So make sure to not get hit by another one if you see them.
Margot, make them bleed. Margot, make them bleed. Your death will not be.
Alright, so we're moving him to blue. So range to stand further back. Nice blue stack. And then don't... Oh, I got... Oops.
I have enough bones for everyone.
Sorry, I died there.
August, rend their souls. This boat has your name.
Exulting.
Shade of bar, guys.
Nothing escapes my sight.
Exulting.
I have enough bones for everyone.
Good work.
Barghast, rend their souls.
Shade.
Yeah, get that shade CC. There we go.
This boat has your name.
Are you testing me, Sule?
Shit, Ripsel. Yeah, that's
We're running the boss so it doesn't get hit by the soul. Very good work. I'm gonna pull the shade in now, kill the shade at 17 stat.
Nothing kills my favorite. Executed here, now.
Alright, stage 3, get Hectus in here, and then let's pop Hero.
Nothing escapes my sight. Executus, shut up,
Alright, round those out.
This boat has your name.
Alright, everyone dodging still.
Executus, shut up, have enough bones for everyone. Executus, shut up,
Zargan, good work.
I have enough bones for everyone. This boat has your
Dodge the Sin Seekers. Alright, get him down. He'll cast Sin Seeker more. Make sure we're spread for all stand still. And yeah, it'll be pretty easy here as long as we're not getting hit by extra. Very good.
Great work.
You are the Alpha.
Putting an end to that wretch.
The passage is down here.
The way ahead will be fraught with danger, but we must reach those anima stores.
Yeah, the shades get thrown pretty far. Because they sometimes come right after one of the healing mechanics. Alright, remember, these sewer rats suck.
Yeah, they drop cool. Run.
Yeah. That looks weird, just all the trash running out.
The beast seeks to sate its endless hunger upon the stores of anima below. Dispatch this creature before it grows even stronger.
So they throw on the circles, which will be part of the next mechanic. You do not want to be in each other's circles, but yeah, you want to leave it so that people can stand in bowl. And then we'll kill this to the left. Let's leave or come back if we die, which we won't. Okay, so this next boss has kind of a similar mechanic to that Sin Seeker. He'll mark probably 3 people in our raid, and we will want to run to the side. We're going to be taking him about there and about here. So when he reaches 100 resource, he will begin casting a big circle that you want to run out of. So what me and Hidalgo would do is put an anti-magic zone on either X or on Skull. So the first zone will be on X as we run away from Skull or we tank him, and then the next it will be on Skull as we run away from X. You're going to want your raid on the other side of the boss. You're going to want to have fairly tight stacks so that people can run off to the side and not hit other people with the straight line that he's going to mark people with. When you get hit with it, you gain a debuff where the next one deals like 1,000 increased damage, and anyone who just got targeted with it will not get targeted again, I believe. This might just be heroic, but I believe in normal you don't get targeted the next go. But if you hit somebody that was not supposed to be hit, they could be targeted and they get one shot. Also, if you stand 2 on top of each other, they will just one-shot both the people who stood on top. So it's pretty important to make sure you get off to the left or right when you get targeted with that. Also, those circles will be going on. I think we'll have 4 circles, maybe 5 in this raid size. You want to make sure that there are at least 2 other people in it. The people with the circles are immune to healing, and they can only leech health off of other people in the circles. So if you're able to position it where there are 2 circles, where there's a section in the middle that somebody could stand in and pop a defensive and leech to both of the circles, it's very helpful because then you just need less people doing the mechanic correctly if the circles are placed well. Yeah, exactly. Venn diagram. Every time we seem to get a melee and a ranged kind of circle grouping, range, you can try and come in and make it so that melee and ranged are all within the circles so that they're all in a Venn diagram pattern and everybody is within at least one. And our heals should be good enough to cover that. Yeah, pretty much just back and forth, and we will hero at the start once we all get positioned over there.
And that whole Venn diagram thing, that's for the glutinous miasma?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, because you are immune to healing, or you reduce the healing you receive by 100%, but then you can leech off of people in your miasma. And so if you see that circle, unless you are under 50% health, you definitely need to be inside of one. Or again, if you are taking your straight line debuff that we cannot have go through the raid out, you should not be in one. And sometimes the circle people will get targeted with that ability. So don't run with them, but definitely make sure that everyone is topped off who has, and that's on DPS and healer positioning, not the healers topping them off. But yeah, everyone with the circle will need to be, at above 80 or 60% health to survive those. And then Hidalgo, you'll do the anti-magic zone on X, and I'll do it on Skull.
Sure.
Charge!
Can you split the circles a little bit so some people can stand in and not be jumping?
Yeah, if you have a circle, you cannot be standing in another circle.
Whoever's the hunter can use that to perfect split them nice.
You want them to be a Venn diagram so that somebody can stand in the middle, but you don't want the 2 people who have the circles to be standing in each other's circles. What was that desolate?
Sean, stand still so people can stand in your.
And this is where you run away. This is where you do not stand in that blue. You run away. Alright, and this is going to be a white. Had a couple of unlucky ones where people were double stacked for those lines, but yeah, you can see how. Yeah, and then as you get more and more people dead, the tanks can start getting circles. It's pretty brutal. No, just stand. Yeah. So you want to have the circles overlapping so that somebody can stand in the middle. But you do not, if you have a circle, you cannot stand in someone else's circle.
How many circles go out at a time?
I believe it was 3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely 3.
Abby, could you help a good buddy summon me back?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And if it's for changing talents and stuff, I have codexes, so people can change talents. I don't know about conduits, but talents definitely.
Nice.
And I recognized my name that time.
Getting used to it.
Yeah, we have 4.
Okay, so Desolate is just a random cast. It just does 8.1k to everyone. So yeah, you definitely want to stay healthy when you have your circles.
So when you get a circle, you kind of need to stand relatively still so people who don't have the circle can find you and run to you. You'll be marked. So try not to run unless, of course, you get that other blue circle.
Right.
And the other thing that happens is the blue circle where we all have to spread, the more damage you've taken because you're not leeching off other people, your blue circle gets enormous, and then everybody's trying to get out of your enormous blue circle. So that's why it's really important that if you've got the one that you need to leech, that you're not moving too much and that people can find you and run into you.
And maybe we'll have it, if you have the circle, you should be standing in a straight line between like X and skull in blue. So like move yourself into the middle and other people can move out as they need to, but make sure you're centralized so that everyone can get to you. And then if you see a circle start moving, do understand from the middle that they are targeted with the volatile eruption or whatever, and do not follow them.
And I think that one does a double blue chevron over your head. And so, yeah, I think that's what that one
Okay,
does.
so yeah, and if other people can see it, then that should help too, as to know, do not follow this person. I saw one, we had a melee and a ranged where they were stacked, but at different distances. I guess melee, try and get as 90 degrees you can from the boss. If it's double melee, hopefully you guys see that. And then ranged, you guys look to, because you'll be further out, so it's harder for you to make the boss spin as far. But melee, yeah, if you can just try and get it so that you're perfectly to the side of the boss, that would be helpful. And of course, everyone else stay out of that corridor, that big arc, because as if a range doesn't move right away and somebody is kind of hanging out at the outskirts for no reason, you're just going to get hit rather than hanging out with the group, healing people in circles, and just overall helping get this thing killed.
Do that.
Yeah, I mean, like, let the tanks get aggro and whatnot, but pretty much. Here.
Yeah, perfect. I'm gonna need someone helping me leech off them, please.
Right, run. You guys want to stand on the deck, stay in this bubble, reduce the damage that you're healing for, but don't stack two bubbles on each other. That's just gonna, leech each other. And then get on the other side. Tanks are on X.
I got a beam. I've got a beam. Sorry. Sorry, Egg. That was my bad. I'm sorry.
Abby, you'll want to get to the other side, because if you get targeted with a beam, we can't have it for the tank. Really good work on those lines, guys. Alright, run away. Get over this goal. And then don't stand in each other's circles, but yeah, that's like perfect, guys. And then move to the other side. And then just fully move, perfect. Now it's the danger one, so now we're just back to what we're doing.
I need some people stacked on me or I'm gonna die.
Very nice.
I think poor Ag got beamed twice. I definitely did him once, poor guy.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. Yeah, so that'll be part of the fight, just having people step in and soak that, which was out there at the edge, and then there's another one. And I believe in the fight, yeah, they will drop those. We need a couple of people to go soak. Just per. Yeah, and as you can see, they go really far. We'll have a loose spread of DPS to be able to pick those up, because I think those will be persistent throughout the entire fight. So this one's kind of a soft DPS check in that if any of these containers ever get to 100%, we wipe, and And each container, each 25% of the boss HP will have a, I don't know, some magical power over the container, which will force us to not be able to release it, and then we will have to deal with phase 2 and phase 3 of these different abilities. That triangle that people made is going to be a persistent thing. We're going to pop heroism. That is going to be the third anima cell here when those become empowered. And that is the phase that we'll pop heroism because it just makes it much easier to deal with. That big circle, everyone wants to get out of the big red circle. Okay, cool. You apparently can ice block immune it, and I don't, in the fight, would that not have the ad spawn?
Connect the lines or separate them?
So you want them to go through the orbs, and in the fight there'll be 3 orbs, so everyone has to go to an orb, and you have to stand about 2 yards behind it so that both of your beams are connected to both of the other ones, and it will get rid of the orbs.
Yeah, you want at least one of the 2 beams coming away from you to cut through the orb that you're in front of.
Surely even a sycophant like you can see
Yeah, and take a
that.
quick 5-minute bio. We're a full hour in, so we'll I'll look up everything and I'll try and get Sewell and Sham. I may have you guys on the left and the right containers, and I'll call out 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll put some markers down. But yeah, feel free to take a bio or anything that you need.
Do we have someone designated to like click? I watched the video. You have to like click them after the phase is done or something.
So I'll call it. We don't want any more than 2 draining at one time because of the raid damage it deals. The first priority is a anima container that is in like phase 2 or 3 because it was just focused. The second priority is an anima container that is about to become focused to make sure to get it down to 0%. Then the next priority after that is, I guess, anything at, the second tier, and then anything that's about to pass into the second tier. I'll kind of call it and I'll be watching it. It seems like they gain about 1% every 3 to 5 seconds, and it takes a couple of seconds to have it start draining, and then it just drains until it's depleted. I'm not sure if you can click it again to like close it, but I don't think there's any point. And I'll be right back, bio here, so I'll explain it when I get back. Okay. So I guess Sewell, you'll be green and purple. Sham, you'll be blue and orange. And I might call them as 1, 2, 3, 4 because that's how they are on my display. So 1 being green, 2 being purple, 3 being blue, and 4 being orange.
Square.
And then, yeah, you don't want to keep them all going at once, but we will only have, I think, the third and then the second one venting at the beginning, and the first one will just be filling up and can't be used. So Sewell, you can only click on purple until we move it to her to 75% health, which at that point you can only click green, and you'll have to click it right basically at that transition is what we're looking for. And so Sewell, for you, when she's at about probably 80% health, we're going to want to be clicking purple. So you'll move over to purple, kind of hopefully keep DPSing over there. And then as she moves down, you'll go back and click green. And then Sham, I'll be calling for yours to be released periodically because they will get up to that first threshold and then do extra abilities without any maintenance. So you will need to go over there, but it won't be as important until after we pop heroism, and right before she goes to 50%, we'll need to make sure that blue is completely released. And then again, as she goes from 50 into 25%, we will need to make sure that orange is completely released and that blue is releasing once she hits 25. The first phase, it's a tank and healer thing. As she gains up stacks, so we don't pop heroism for this, we will save it for the third phase. The second phase is the bottled animal one. So you just she'll always have the first tier going of all 4 of these. So she'll always be hurling out a bottle, and then players within, someone has to be in that circle. If it's not, then I believe the entire raid takes like 16k, and so it's just they have to be soaked. Range is going to be up to you. Hunters, very good soak because you can move and cast. If anyone else has a cooldown to move and cast, it's helpful. And then her phase 2 is going to be when it leaves the pools on the ground. After you take the soak, so you take the soak, you run out of the pool, just like on the trash. And then on phase 3, if it gets up above the 66% anima on that second one, it will require 2 soaks. And I don't believe that we got to this, but you want to be sending 2 people out per soak anyway, just in case one person gets targeted with what's going to be the container of sin, the circles, and having to run the lines around. But yeah, you'll definitely need to send 2 people out if it reaches phase 3 for each soak, because it will do a soak and then it will bounce and have to be soaked again. And I believe it's in a random direction. I'm not really sure. I don't think we made it too far into that third phase last time. Once we push her to 50% and the blue container becomes focused, that is the container that deals with the orbs. We're going to pop heroism and we are going to push through this, so it hopefully does not make it to phase 3. At phase 2, the orbs gain a line that deals a bunch of damage in between them, so you have to only run around the orbs, and we will probably have to deal with that. So just be mindful of, the slower classes get the closer orbs, the faster classes move further back to the harder ones that are blocked more by the lines. And then if it gets to phase 3, those lines then begin spinning around, and we just want to get through that before it gets that messy. And then in that phase also you can deal with the containers leaving the blood pools. If you had too many of that in phase 2, then that can be a problem for your orb positioning. So yeah, we just want to get through phase 3 as fast as possible. But throughout the entire fight, 2 or 3 people will be, I think 3 people will be targeted, and they'll have to go clear out the orbs like we had to in that trash. And then the last container is the big red AoE circle. You want to bring that in next to the tanks, but not hit anyone extra with it. It spawns an ad after that goes off. As it gets more percentage, I believe, at the second phase, the target gets rooted immediately. So the tanks, you just get stuck. People have to move out, and then tanks need to taunt from range to bring the ad in. And at 3, I think it just does a bunch of damage. It's not very. It sucks. They'll need to be topped off fully if we get it filled up to 66% on that 4th one.
So with the big ad, do you want her to just run into the sort of like the left of her, like not right on top, but to the left of her if you get targeted?
Yeah, just bring her about to, here-ish every time. And
good.
You can bring it to the other side if you're stacked on the other side, because again, range needs to be kind of in a loose stack to be ready to grab those anima jars that need to be soaked.
What do we do with the jars?
Sorry, what?
With the jars?
Oh, the jars will be pools on the ground. She throws a jar. It will be. Oh, you mean these jars around the corner? We'll have people clicking them and receiving.
No, on the ground.
On the ground, yeah. It'll just be her throwing a jar that needs to be soaked. So one person needs to stand within it, and they'll take about 10k damage. If no one stands within it, then everyone takes 20k damage. And we should do this here. It's pretty easy if you keep the jars under control. So Sewell and Sham and me just paying attention will be a majority of keeping this fight simple. Okay, so the soak should be going out. So let's go ahead and click the 3rd one here. Sham blue. Get next to that orb. Yeah. A little bit behind it, just a little bit behind it. There you go. Yeah, and then let's get the 3rd one, the blue anima container drain. And then just out of melee, don't hit too many people with it.
How do I know if it's draining or not?
You can see the percentage on the right. You did get it to start draining. So 2, just keep the purple one low.
Destruction reigns.
It got pushed. Yeah, it got pushed and yep. Okay, that was good releasing it.
Destruction reigns.
So drain the 4th one, Sham. Drain orange. Yeah, and then come close, make sure that That looked like a missed vial on the
Yeah,
ground.
we went to the same one, and then yeah. Tried.
Sean, drain the fourth one again. Click on orange.
Need to soak that.
And now click on the blue one, Sean. Make sure that one's going down. Okay, click the second one. Sewell, get that purple, and let's pop heroism. Make sure Sewell's alive. Pretty important here. There's a soak in melee. Yeah, good work. Someone's just gonna move slightly.
I think
On
he's
that.
dead. I think that's
Oh.
fine.
Yeah, because his the other person has to move slightly then to try and make it so that his can go through. Yeah. There you go. Alright, 2 bottles. Yep. Let's go make sure we're clicking the first one again. Sewell. And make sure the fourth one's drained all the way. Sean, yeah. Nice, good work. And then be clicking that third one, Sean, right now. Click that third one. And then click the second one in a second here, Sewell. Alright, click the second one, Sewell.
Should I bring J-Town back?
Yes, please. Click the fourth one, Sean.
I can't.
Anyway, it's just gonna be too much damage, I think, here.
It's got like a red circle around it, and I can't click it.
Oh, she must have gotten pushed, my bad. Yeah. Yeah, I'm calling out the one that's being focused.
That big circle needs to be run in.
Yeah, that ad doesn't move, I guess, so it does have to be ran in.
Oh, right, because there's tanks.
Yeah, and even if you taunt it, it doesn't move.
No, it doesn't
so
move, yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty close. It was some missed.
The Stoneborn were permitted to use such routes to
Some of those missed things, the tank swap and it pushing the 3, we didn't run away properly, which we will, so that'll be less damage right up front.
I was standing behind one of the orbs. I'm not sure exactly what I was supposed to be doing, but that was when.
So each orb needs a line going through it, and so the easiest way to have one, like the first person to get there, just kind of run right behind it and just stand there and let the other people move around so that their line goes through. You just need a line to go through each orb at this simultaneously. But if you can't stand right on the orb, you have to stand like behind it or slightly to the side. Oh yeah, the seed. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if people have skip deaths or some immobilization effect that can just be bad luck, and that could be due to the not getting the tank buff out and swapping correctly to minimize that. So we'll have definitely less damage on that first phase. And now both of our clickers have a good idea of what it takes to drain an anima cell. We didn't have any get up to the second phase. There's no difference if they're at 1% or at 30%, other than they're just how soon they will push over to the next phase. Sean, click the third one.
I'm doing the beam right now.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if anyone can click it.
Destruction rain.
Thank you.
Did someone else click?
Yeah, it's draining. And then go ahead and click the fourth one here. Bring that red circle in. Bring it in. Not all the way in though, just stand right there. Everyone else get around, stand still, perfect.
Your fate and burn. The ground shatters.
So let's click the first one here. And the third one. Oh wait, the third one's being focused now. Okay, so now let's pop arrows in. Click the first one.
I will crush your heart.
And now click the second one. It looks like they only drain.
Your torment will last forever.
Let's click the fourth one.
Destruction reigns!
Okay, and then click the third one right now.
Pause down. Shalom's down.
Just burst her down.
We
It should be fine.
in 15 seconds.
Destruction reigns!
So make sure to soak that.
Joy wrenching the sin from
I can't move.
Okay, yeah, so this is part of it. So then I'll go taunt
There's
out here. Yeah, I'll just go sit it out here. Spoke. And press the first one.
joy wrenching the sin.
And then just finish her, and then we got this. We don't have to worry about any of the other containers. Do the mechanics still, but don't worry about containers. There we go.
Conduit upgrade. Major conduit upgrade.
Nice. All right, well, that's this wing here. We'll step outside to summon back a couple of people that need to change talents. We're going to be going to...
Talents I can drop a codex.
Well, we already had someone hurt, but
Gotta
yeah,
upgrade
we
a
will...
conduit.
We'll, oh yeah, and she needs to upgrade, yeah. So, and we'll also do a codex, I guess, before and after Kael'thas. And on Kael'thas, Caster, can you just go healer?
Well, ain't a bad day's work.
But we can do the trash as you damage up until then. Just on the fight, please. It will be so easy.
Hold on, you want me to go holy?
For once we get to Kael'thas, yeah. Up until the trash, just keep damaging, and we'll get through it faster. But
Can I switch now?
if you must, but you got to use your damaging spells on trash. Yeah, you can switch now. If you have to go do Covenant stuff or whatever, I'm out front. I guess, Abby, could you come out front as well? And we'll just summon.
Absolutely.
This will be my chance to be the second most damage dealing priest.
Yeah,
Let me know if you need to need me to click. It is so
Oh,
busy
yeah.
up here.
Yeah, I'm just watching her
Yes.
screen. Yeah, I know. I had to get that runic power and haste, and it is also what the guild is supposed to be, but I broke that barrier for everyone.
The opposite. I went with the Draenei, male Draenei for one of my pally healer. Like, he's enormous. You try and do a battleground, it's just like, why not just have a big freaking sign on your head that says, I'm a healer and I'm huge. It's easy for you to click on me.
Does anyone else need a summon?
I think Ag does.
He has to walk.
Rokon as well.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out where to hand in this bead for that.
All right, we're gonna head inside. So anyone else is gonna have to walk.
To battle!
Make sure to repair. We're gonna be heading. We're gonna do Kale Thos next, and then Artificer, and then hopefully Blood Council. But Kale Thos into Artificer 100%.
Cover for me.
We have an hour and 8 minutes officially.
Yes, I'm not seeing Kel'Thas in the logs.
In the
Adventure Guide.
It's the Sun King Salvation. That is just Kale Thos there.
Yeah, there's a little picture of him, I suppose.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Don't look in the dungeon guide. And then that one ends up being ads fight with healers pushing phases for us.
Sorry, you said everybody else has to walk, but Ms. Death still.
I know.
Sorry, I feel like it just timed out.
No worries. I'm just suddenly thinking.
Yeah, walking from Bastion is ill-advised. With a hearth down and everything, yeah. I like how it loads the portals before the characters, so I just click on one until it starts working.
They don't even give us achievements for killing a boss anymore. I want my gold shiny.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't even think they give you wing achievements anymore. Maybe they do. Yeah, mythic you get for everyone you kill.
Great.
them off.
I got the res off. Oh, assassin fun time for y'all. Thank you. freaking hate these assassins.
Very annoying.
Appalling. Our people starve outside the castle walls. Yet these loyalists indulge their avarice.
As they dance and feast, the jailer amasses an army to destroy the Shadowlands. The fools deserve their fate for believing the lies of Nathrius.
Many valuable weapons adorn these halls. Let us liberate them from the grasp of these aristocrats. This mirror should prove useful for helping you move throughout the castle, mortals.
Nice viewy.
And what can this humble force?
Alright, cool. So now when we wipe on this next trash, we have that. Yeah, I guess hero trash is harder.
Most potent souls in this chamber. He fuels their darkest instincts, forging them into weapons to turn upon his enemies.
Okay, so I guess I'll explain it first, and then we'll do...
Wrath is your most potent sin, Sunstrider.
Yeah, and then we'll do the codex, because people want to make some choices. So at the beginning, we'll have these 7 ads. The priority will be the assassins, then the occultists, and then Darathos. Darathos is a once per phase 1, so twice a fight. He targets, I believe, on this raid size, it'll be 4 people, it might be 5. With an AoE, you just got to get out of range so you don't hit extra people. And I believe that he leeches life from this, so it's more important that you get out, but it's not. It's more about the damage than him gaining life for getting out of hitting other people. Then the assassins, they'll be your primary target. They're just going to jump out to random people, and it's pretty annoying, so you just want to get rid of them. There's a Vanquisher ad that is not shown. I think he spawns about a minute in or so. And he is a tank swap ad, but he will be the focus when the assassins are down. And then there are Soul Infuser ads that are also not shown. I believe they spawn like a minute and a half in, and if you push the phase fast enough, you won't see them. But what they do is they're fully CCable, and they float from the back towards the soul pedestals up front, and then they will start siphoning life off of Kael'thas, and I believe it's like 3% a second or something. So they are the primary kill target when they're up, and I'll just call when they're spawning. Range, generally, you'll be going to the Soul Infuser if they do spawn that is farther away. We're going to try. We're going to try and tank the phase 2 where the Shade of Kael'thas comes down and the fires start spawning and all of that on the blue side, and the tanks will then kind of walk him around that way. The fire should despawn, so we should be able to do blue side twice. When we go to phase 2 and tank them over to the blue side, any ads that are up are the priority before the shade, just because if the Vanquisher is up or if the Assassins are up and we need to be stacking or we need to be tank swapping and we have an extra ad on top of the tank swap, that's just going to make it more difficult. So ads first. The phase 2 will occur when the healers heal Kael'thas up to 45%. So that Kael'thas Sunstrider up there, you see him at 10%, 421k HP. Healers will heal him. He'll go to 45%. His shade will come down, a big red shade, and we will need to damage it, I believe, from 55 to 45%. And then he goes back up there, and then the healers heal him to 90%. And then the shade comes down a second time, and we damage it, I think, from 100% to 90%. I'm not, or it might be 10% to dead. I don't remember if it has an execute phase or not. And then after we kill the shade a second time, the fight's over. The occultists on the side here will need to be interrupt to be brought in, and Death Knight grips are great. So Hidalgo just kind of on cooldown, try and grip one into the melee. Yeah, don't bother with the soul pedestals. I will call you out if you click it and get more than 2 stacks. I've seen some people click it and go over 2 stacks. They stack up pretty quick and you don't heal that much, so it's just better to be in position ready for whatever's next. Or if you have off heals, please do throw them out on this boss.
There's some way to... I kind of forget what I watch now. There's some way where we heal the boss with our health or something?
Yeah, so that's with the soul pedestal, and that's not worth it. Not in normal, at least. The trick is to getting up to like 2 or 3 stacks. I think that it's just better to have somebody switch over to healer for the way that it scales, and even in mythic progression, it looks like it's just better to have 1 extra healer than bothering with that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, close to phasing, I might say slow or push. If I say push, then yeah, please spam your Ward of Glories, Paladins, or your whatever your off heal is, priests. And Miss Death at times will go. She's rest off spec, so I will tank or I will taunt everything, and she'll start healing. So yeah, but if I call for slow because we just had an ad spawn, definitely do not be off healing or doing the soul pedestal, because we will be trying to prevent 100% HP ads with the Shade of Kael'thas spawning. And then, yeah, in phase 2, you need people to stack for that Ember Blast. So it'll be a big red fiery circle. Not quite the size of the red circle from the last boss, but similar, and it will, I think, have like kind of a fiery effect. You want to stand within it to not have the person be one shot. And the ideal number is 6 people. If there's more, I believe that there's no extra debuff that gets put out, so you can stand more people in it. But there will be 6 total debuffs that get put out, so if 2 people soak it together, they'll each get 3. Food's down, make sure you eat it, and also if we could get the codex now that people kind of understand it's an ads and off heal fight. There's also phoenixes that spawn in the second phase, and they target, I believe, just DPS. It might be DPS and healers. Do not bother DPSing them down, just kite them. They will leave a fiery patch, and the boss will be doing abilities that leave fiery patches, so that's why we'll be moving around. Yeah, just make sure that you are correctly kiting the ads to not leave fire in front of the tank, so kind of back behind, and then also not causing fire to be pulled through the group. And it always seems to go pretty well recently. At first, those phoenixes were a problem, and I believe they're also fully CCable, or at least you can slow them, I think. So, yeah. But they do move slow on their own. And you'll just have a big kind of fire chain attached to the phoenix when you are targeted by it.
So what is the...
So will they be spawned on their own, or once they spawn, they're there for the rest of the fight?
I think if you damage them, they will like be a phoenix and go into a shell and then heal up and come back. I think they just get kind of passively cleaved down. You could focus them if they were really annoying you, but I don't think they move very quick.
Yeah, so we mostly just kite around the room, starting from blue back there, going towards the entrance where we're standing along the edges, and then around the room in a big circle. And that usually gives people enough room to kite and not worry about them too much.
And then we generally save heroism for the second shade phase, but we could potentially use it the first if I see that there's a bunch of ads up and there's a lot of damage to be done. I'll just call for it. Otherwise, second shade phase will be the planned heroism.
And then so for the Bleakwing Assassins, like these two you see here, we want to usually focus those ads down when we see them, because they will go to casting like a stone something or other, and by the time that they're done casting it, they'll heal to full health. So if you see them casting it, you got to focus them down.
Yeah, we just try and focus them down first because they're jumping out and doing extra damage, which pulls the healers away from healing the boss. So yeah, it's
And then Derek, those, like, he just kind of dies. Like, you want to get him down, but, like, focus the Bleakwings first and whatnot. You'll get the rhythm.
And we generally have pretty high DPS where there's a lot of space in between at the beginning. Again, early on here, any ranged interrupt on the occultist or gripping them into the melee pile would be great.
Renithal's traitors! Gods, stop them!
Healers, when the casters die, there's something for you to heal. I forgot to mention that. It's just like a little, font on the ground there, the essence font. And if you just heal it up to full, I think it heals them to 2% or so. There's one more essence spawn by the front. Oh yeah, you guys got it.
Additional guards are en route.
Okay, this Vanquisher's coming, so melee, here he comes. I'll be tanking him. So let me step in here.
More of those fools seek to hinder us. Do not allow them to interfere.
Alright, these fiends, they're interruptible. They're just annoying. Very low priority, but good to get. The assassins are up now here. Go ahead and push some healers. We are just done with the ads here.
Another interruption from the castle guard.
Any off healing? There we go. Okay, and we have no ads, so this is new. Oh, there we go. We have a couple of cultists, but they're low priority. Okay. Yeah, so I've changed of ice to Phoenix, so it's fully slowable. Get in that. Ooh, that's going to be hard. Yeah, just keep them slowed. Vima, you're going to need to shoot the stack with that. Okay, we're going to run them further back. We have a lot of fire in the way here. Alright, you guys want to... Oh, there you go.
Another interruption from the castle guard. Dispose of them.
We're going to get Soul up here. And I'll tank this Vanquisher. Just push, get as much heals in.
More of those fools seek to hinder us. Do not allow them to interfere.
Soul Infusers. Slow them. I'm going to get the two on the far side. Very good work. One last Soul Infuser there. Each side. There we go.
Guards are en route. Ensure that their deaths are swift. It returns! More of those fools seek to hinder us. Do not allow them to interfere.
And healers, go ahead and pump. We're going to be done with these ads here soon. Well, okay, we'll have this one up, but we'll be done here. And the fire just cleared, so we're going to do the same thing on the shade. Can we pop heroes in here? Jump into him, so he does have a cleave phase, or XP phase with me.
Consume you! I
Sweet.
So we try and make it where the dangerous is the outside of the zone, but obviously as we're moving him further back, it can get a
Come
bit
with me, and I will help you find atonement.
I am tired of being used as a pawn by others. Will your help allow me to claim vengeance?
You have so much to learn.
Take this soul away.
Congrats everyone on loot.
Mine to wield.
We're gonna go over to the artificer now.
Hands. I would give them to you, but I do have my mythic set where my
No, I feel your pain. I had a 171 head on my mythic set forever. So I feel your pain. Yeah, no, I get it.
I'm sorry, it makes it like difficult with these.
No, don't give it
Yeah,
any.
seriously. The
Just
legendary
don't
slot.
ditch them. That's all.
We're going to artificer. Oh, there used to be trash right here, right? And it sucks.
Interesting. Fighting has drawn the plants away. Sire Nathrius' private collection, gathered over eons from across the Shadowlands. Yet how do I test their authenticity?
And so down here on this pole, there could be blue seeds that spawn near you, and I think you just want to run away from them.
Yeah. Those are them. I think there's spawning more seeds.
These brokers are a greedy lot. Do not let such potent weapons fall into their hands.
Okay, so for this one, 3 phases. I believe it's like at 70% and then 40% or so that he swaps over. For the first phase, he's going to target 2 people with, well, for all phases, he's going to target 2 people with Dimensional Tear. And we're going to want one person to go to blue and the other person to go to green. You have 8 seconds once you get marked with it. So non-Demon Hunter melee and more static classes are going to be wanting to go to blue. Demon Hunters, Druids can generally get over to green. So if you just run towards that direction and then notice if the other person is running there or not. If it's double melee, just get as close to green as you can, because what's going to happen is when people get marked with the Fleeting Spirit, I believe, they try and get to their target, and if they do, they mind control you. And if you just go between the portals, you're able to kite them effectively, as long as they're at blue and at green. And then at, I'm not sure exactly what percentage, at 70% health or something, he'll start spawning 4 seeds at the 4 corners. Oh, I guess DPS this one caster. He'll spawn 4 seeds around the room. Specifically, the seed at around purple. Agathism, can we have you move it back just towards green again? What'll end up happening is those seeds will pretty much take out the entire arena, and there'll be another one that spawns silver, and we just need some proactive member to grab it. If I'm not about to taunt, I will go run over and grab it. But generally, I'll be busy, so just some melee or druid or so, just run over and grab it and take it over to the other half of the room. I think it has to get past like around this straight away, because then it explodes. And the tanks will have to run. We will be exploding with a rune on taunt swaps. And so in phase 2, everyone else has to be away from purple, and the tank will go there. Do we still get ghosts in phase 2? Do we have to get that other dimensional tear all the way to green when those seeds are spawning? I don't think so. Because I believe it's once he goes to the root of extinction, you no longer have the Crystal of Phantasms. So when you get marked with something in phase 2, and I'm going to move the moon, you can go just blue and purple would probably be best. And I guess we'll use moon. In phase 3, he's going to switch to on a cooldown, putting everyone, or he's going to suck everyone in towards the center. There'll be a big sword that comes down, and we will need a portal directly on moon right in the center there, so that if people get sucked in, they get teleported to the other portal that will be on blue. So first phase, it's going to be blue and green. Second phase, it's going to be blue and purple. And then third phase, it will be blue and moon. And that's pretty much it. There is a kind of white he's going to do some damage in this area, straight line, that you need to step out of. And healers, he casts Hyperlight Spark, which just jumps between everyone and deals 5.8k to everyone. So it just basically keep people topped off. Yeah. We get these portals right, we kite the ads phase 1, we get the seeds out phase 2, and we just get the portals placed correctly phase 3, and it's a very easy kill. And we'll be tanking him where I had Moon originally, kind of in that corner where we need the seed to be taken away from. So it will be very easy to grab that seed in phase 2.
Wonderful! I have been hoping to test these relics on live targets.
So go ahead and stay blue. Damien's in one. And that's perfectly reasonable. In phase 1, you just want a lot of distance. Oh, the ghosts are out. Make sure you're kiting them. Oh, dang.
Yeah, I forgot to move from the portal after I took it, so I immediately went into it once the cooldown was over.
Yeah. Okay. So it looks like Shang's going to green, so come back blue. Come back blue, Rokon. Okay, so those are not very far away. And everyone needs to kind of get away from them because I have this big glyph, so go back towards the stack. Just always be kind of stacked up near melee if you're not kiting spirits. So spirits, you're going to need to use any speed cooldowns you have, and you can take the portals, but they will be unreliable.
You cannot bargain with death. Die together. Mind your step.
Great portal. Okay, so now we're in phase 2. So the portal location will actually just change to kind of behind purple, and then kind of behind blue near to the wall. Yeah, come on purple, come on blue. Okay, and then there the seeds. It looks like one spawned at blue. Agathism to you, we get the one at purple, and then someone takes the blue one. Just back, yeah. And then push forward, everyone, because I'm going to explode. Yeah. That explosion was just too close. So you need to, in phase 2, not be near purple, because that's where the tank is going to do a distance-based AoE. So there's no reason to be back that far, just crouch, get up, take the damage.
You can stay in your bodies after this. I'll res healer to res everybody. So don't.
So he seems to put him at like the north, south, east, west of the room now.
Destruction is guaranteed.
Yeah, so don't release because we can get some mass resin going on.
The good students don't have to walk.
So what, phase 1 you get the eyes on you, that's what you use the portals for.
Yeah.
In phase 2, when do we need to go into the portals?
So I guess we can still make the portals be on blue and green because people can get there. I think on one of them it kind of lines up poorly, but if the person takes the portal back, it should be okay. Phase 2, I guess, is just to get the seeds really far away. So we will get the portals to be like just kind of on the moon side of blue, and then just you don't have to get it as deep as green if you're not a super speed class, but pretty far out there. We'll just keep it like that. The tanks have enough time to run back to purple. You want to be as far away from purple in phase 2 as possible, because that big AoE glyph that the tanks are taunting off of each other, we're going to come back here and explode. And if you are not blue or closer, you're going to get one hit for no reason. So yeah, just in phase 2, definitely be blue or closer to the boss. Other than dodging those straight lines, there's really no reason to not be just all stacked up in melee. I mean, obviously, don't be completely everyone in melee, but you can almost do that. The boss is not going to turn around and cleave everyone or anything like that.
So if we get the seeds, we have to get away from everybody.
So the seeds are on the ground. If you have picked up a seed, they need to all end up as close to green as possible. There'll be one that spawns there, and it looks like there are a couple that need to maybe get picked up, or we can move the boss back. Before, it looked like it was spawning 2 on blue side and 2 on green side, so you just move the 2 on blue side to green side. That time it looked like it spawned 1 on blue, 2 in the middle, and 1 on green. So we definitely need to move the 1 on blue, or any that are on the blue side. If there's one that spawns like where he's standing now, I don't think we have to move it. We just have to make sure we're not in the explosion. And also, I think during that first explosion is a rune explosion. So maybe J-Town, if you could just put your big bubble down for that first explosion, like basically where the orange marker is, or a little bit closer to the boss. I'm going to remove it, but I will be at purple, or Miss Death will be at purple, and then if everyone can stack in orange under that 25% reduction, that should cancel it all. We haven't had to do that before, but now that we have a disc priest, we may as well.
Alright, cool. Just try to call it out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I'll call. What is it? I'll probably just end up saying priest bubble.
That's fine.
Okay.
Wonderful! I have been hoping to test these relics on live targets. Mind your step!
Yeah. And that should be good enough to still be able to taunt, or to kite the... Now watch out the ghost. So you can run to the portals to try and kite them.
Their war beckons. Mind your step. Destruction is guaranteed.
And you guys don't have to worry about me and this big glyph, because it only explodes at the end.
cannot bargain with death. The warp beckons.
So everyone get close. This death is gonna explode here. The portals will be less helpful, but have to have people. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Okay, so get them, yeah, bluish and then greenish. And then, yeah, you can just take the portals if you get a seed. Oh, you guys have the seed and I have this. Pop personal, pop a lot. I don't know why that's timed at the same exact time. I'm not sure what's around.
The warp beckons. Destruction is guaranteed. Mind your step.
See? Someone can pick up that one next to that portal there and just take it. Thank you.
You cannot bargain with death. The warp
I don't know how to put it down.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure if it gives you a button. That's a good point. I should look that one.
I didn't see it.
Destruction is guaranteed.
Alright, succeed. Watch out. Miss Death will run off to the side, but she will be exploding over there.
Mind your step. The warp beckons. Oh, this wondrous item is as lethal as it looks.
Put it in the middle. Put one in the middle. Put one at the side. Again, Dayman middle, caster to the side.
Mind your step. Destruction is guaranteed. Die together. Destruction is guaranteed. Mind your step. Marvelous. Die together. Destruction is guaranteed.
Alright, caster middle. Hidalgo, go to the edge.
Mind your step. To die is your only value. Destruction is guaranteed.
They're gonna get nuked by her cliff.
To die is your only value. Mind your step. The warp beckons.
Yeah, so
Is your only value.
I think when that phase 2 spawns, we'll just pop heroism just to push them through those seeds the quickest. It's just a little messy trying to get them placed exactly, and they seem to be spawning somewhere new.
Oh, it's getting bigger.
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah, and it looks like with the...
Oops, sorry guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think we got this if we just, I mean, obviously we'll have a cleaner seed phase, but if we just hero through it, it'll be even cleaner. So you want to place it right on it, because if people get sucked from different directions, it's then 3/4 towards the sword is, you're going to miss it. So like you probably want it like right here, you know, like really close, but 3/4 would be like, you know, like somewhere like here or something, and that would be too far because somebody who's standing at blue is going to miss the orange circle going through, and then they'll just get killed in the center.
Okay, that's fine. I just saw some people like getting sucked towards it, and then it blew up before they actually got to the portal. But
I'm not sure if it does damage if you're in it. That might be, if that's what happens, then yeah, you definitely have to time it if you don't have some sort of ability to not get hit, that you just need to know that you're going to take the portal at some point. So maybe fighting it for 70% of the time and then just running into it knowing that you're going to get the portal 3 seconds before the cast goes off or whatever. But I'm not sure that as long as you don't hit the center, if there's any extra damage that is going out. Yeah, we want to put the portal towards the green. The tanks are going to not take the portal to drop their debuff, and they'll come just near this entrance during that phase. During phase 1, the tanks will take the portal, and then they'll just run off to the side for the people who need to tank the ghost back and forth. But for phase 2, so the tank doesn't get stuck in the portal, yeah, you want to get it close to green so that the people with the seeds have something to go to when they drop it. And then you want the other one to be outside of the seed. So I can in fact remove purple entirely so no one's tempted to run a portal there. And that just needs to be, that area that I removed it from needs to be clear for the tanks in phase 2 to run. But I think Agathism has a good handle on running over and grabbing those that seed every time. Is it going to completely, should I leave the purple Agathism? I don't want to ruin your good seed grabbing if that helps.
No, I should be good there. I can grab.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we should have it this time pretty easy. We'll have the heroism when everyone's up, and then if we lose people in the seed phase, they'll have gotten to do a bunch of their heroism. And I think we get most up, like, 80% uptime on it or so.
Wonderful! I have been hoping to test these relics on live targets. Let us see if the legends of this relic are true. Mind your step! Distraction is guaranteed.
Rokon's just running back, close as you can to green. I'm running back to the entrance. Everyone should push themselves a bit closer. And then the portal is in the middle, so you gotta let your ghost get a little bit closer to you before you run through.
Destruction is guaranteed. Their war beckons. The anticipation to use this relic is
Okay, stage 2.
it will more likely kill you.
After these portals get down, let's pop heroism. Yeah, there you go.
Mind your step. Destruction is guaranteed.
Run forward, don't be standing back. I'm running back to the entrance to drop. Oh, and that middle one didn't. Okay, good, nice. Thank you, whoever sacrificed themselves. Chancel, thank you. My bad, I did not see that key.
Destruction is guaranteed.
Rokon, just switch into Ghost Wolf and get as far as you can.
Mind your step.
Speed.
You cannot bargain with death. Die together. Mind your step. I hope this wondrous item is as lethal as it looks.
And then, alright, so one in the middle, one in the middle, one in the blue. Cassie go blue, and dog would shoot it in the middle. Yeah, so being in it does nuke you. Good to know. Yep, so you'd need to know when to let go. My movement speed wasn't up from the last one. And everyone go ahead and crouch near the boss because it's going to go explode. Game man in the middle. Very good, very good. So everyone position yourself. You see where it is in the middle. You'll need to be so that when the boss does suck you in, that it is hitting you.
You cannot bargain with death. Mind your step. You cannot bargain with death. The war beckons. Mind your step. You cannot bargain with death.
And so we want that middle one a little bit closer to the middle, just like probably a half the portal length. But it looks like we're probably going to get it. Build on that to the middle. Agatha's into the side.
You cannot bargain with death. This exchange has no further value. Consider our
Sweet.
business concluded. For now.
There we go.
Truly one of the most malignant of all sins.
Great work.
Yeah, and I think that'll be everything for tonight. 1 minute early. So you guys owe me tomorrow. Yeah, so tomorrow will be lots of dancing. Blood Council. We're going to change up the order for it, though, to make it harder on the tanks. At the last phase, which will be, since we can swap within the 1 second because we don't have any latency, we will take that challenge on. We'll be going free to third. I'm still not certain if we have people dying to the partner dance part, we'll go Stravos first. If we don't, we'll do Nikolaos first because technically that is less raid damage. But if the partner phase is killing 3 people a pull, we will be killing Stravos first. Weird. And it'll be 7 Eastern again tomorrow, and I believe we added everyone or tried to add to the community, but you can.
Yeah, you can always like add either Miss Death or Good Buddy to your friends list or whatever. But I tried to send out invites to the outside